Good evening, America, the world, friends, people I do not know, everybody. I would first like to apologize for the interruption. I do, like many of you, appreciate the comforts of everyday routine, the security of the familiar, the tranquility of repetition. I enjoy them as much as anyone, but in the spirit of commemoration, thereby those important events of the past, usually associated with someone's death or the end of some awful bloody struggle, a celebration of a nice holiday, I thought we could mark this day, February 2nd, and I thought that we could mark it as a day that is sadly no longer remembered by taking some time out of our daily lives to sit down and have a little chat. There are, of course, those who do not want us to speak. I suspect even now I'm possibly being monitored, much as many of you, for being an activist and or speaking against the government and many of the things that are happening nowadays. I would not doubt that eventually I could possibly be killed and or look like a suicide or whatnot for other reasons. I could be, totally conspiracy theorist and or possibly paranoid, but I wouldn't doubt it whenever you speak out against the government. Nothing's really out of reach. However, I gotta say that while the Trunchkin may be used in lieu of conversation, words will always retain their power. Words offer the means to meaning, and for those who will listen, the enunciation of truth. The truth is, there is something terribly wrong with this country, isn't there? Cruelty, injustice, intolerance, and oppression. And where you have once had the freedom to object, to think and speak as you saw fit, you now have censors and systems surveilling and coercing your conformity and soliciting your consent, as well as your submission. Now, how did this happen? Who's to blame? Well, certainly there are those that are more responsible than others, and they will be held accountable. But then again, if you're looking for the guilty, you need only look in the mirror. I know why you did it. I know why you were afraid. Who wouldn't be? War, terror, disease, they are the myriad of problems which are conspired to corrupt your reason and rob you of your common sense. Fear got the best of you, and in your panic you turned to the now president and every president prior. They promised you order, they promised you peace, and all they demanded in return was your silent, obedient consent. I seek to end this silence. I seek to end the conformity and consent. I seek to start conversation. I seek to start a rebellion of peace and change for the betterment of not only regular people, but of all mankind. Not for the powerful, not for the wealthy, but for the majority. Now, I want everyone to remember, as many have forgotten, that in this day, in 1942, World War II happened and a puppet government was set up in Norway following German occupation, much as I feel like our government now is a puppet owned by the corporations, bought and paid for by their money. They do not vote as we see fit. They do not vote in our best interest. They vote as they are paid. All you have to do is follow the money and their contributions. As well as this day, February 2nd, in 1990, the president of South Africa lifted a 30-year ban on leading anti-apartheid group and stated Nelson Mandela was to be released. Now, this may be insignificant to many of you, both of these days, but I find both of those things very significant, and they both happen on the same day and both have different meanings. Many of you may not care, many of you may not see the meaning, but if you look further down, I think you will see some underlying factors on what's going on today is happening now as it did back then. But if you see what I see, if you feel what I feel, and if you would seek as I seek, then I ask you to stand beside me 1 year from tonight, outside the gates of Congress, outside any courthouse you have. You don't have to travel. Just go to your nearest courthouse and protest. Stand with me in peace, and we shall succeed. Together we shall give them a 2nd of February that they will never ever forget. People should not be afraid of the governments. Governments should be afraid of the people. That was written by Benjamin Franklin. Thank you.